My 17-year-old daughter was banned from my sister's wedding for being too young. I didn't argue. I just said, we won't be attending. But when Christmas came, I made one quiet change, and the entire family lost it. My name is Claire and I'm the oldest of 3 sisters. Growing up, that meant I was the responsible one. The helper. The babysitter. The one who handled things when our parents were too tired or too distracted. I never really minded, not at first. That's just how it was. Tessa was the middle child. The performer, the attention magnet. Rachel, the youngest, was the baby. He got away with everything. I was the one who cleaned up after everyone else. When I got older and became a mom myself, things changed a little. But not really. I adopted my daughter Maya when she was 3 years old. She had these big serious eyes and this quiet way of observing the world, like she didn't trust it yet. I remember the first time she called me Mom. I cried in the car after I dropped her off at preschool. From the very beginning, I made a promise to her. She would never feel unwanted in my family. Not ever again. But I couldn't keep that promise no matter how hard I tried. Tessa got engaged last spring. Big announcement, big ring, big Instagram caption. I congratulated her, of course. Maya even made her a card, cut out little wedding bells and glued them on with too much glitter. Tessa said it was sweet, then left it in the backseat of her car. I found it there 2 weeks later, half crumpled under a Starbucks cup. Still, Maya was excited about the wedding. She started looking at dresses online and asking if she should wear her hair up or down. I could tell she was nervous but hopeful. She wanted to be included. Then the invitation came in the mail. It was one of those fancy ones. Thick paper, gold trim, the kind that probably cost more than my monthly water bill. I opened it at the kitchen counter while Maya was doing homework at the table. The usual stuff, location, dress code, RSVP link, and then I saw it. Adults only. 18 plus, strictly enforced. No exceptions. I read it twice thinking maybe I missed something. But I didn't. Maya saw my face before I could say anything. She looked up from her notebook and asked, "She doesn't want me there?" I said, "It's an 18 plus wedding." She was quiet for a second, then said, "Is it because I'm adopted?" That sentence broke something in me. She said it so calmly. Like it was just a fact she'd come to accept. I told her no, of course not. But I knew what she meant. It wasn't the first time something like this had happened. Not exactly this, but other moments. Smaller ones. Slippery comments. My mom once introduced Maya as Claire's girl. Never our granddaughter. Tessa called her your daughter, like she was talking about a neighbor kid. There were times at family holidays when Maya would offer to help in the kitchen and no one would even respond. I tried to believe it was unintentional, that they didn't mean anything by it. But this time was clear. I didn't fight. I didn't yell. I just went online and clicked, not attending. No explanation. Just, no. I thought that would be the end of it. The next day Tessa texted me. "Hey, just saw your RSVP. Is everything okay?" Then a follow-up. "If this is about the age thing, I hope you understand. We're being super consistent with everyone. Nothing personal." Right. Not personal. Except that Maya is her niece. And she's 17, not 7. I didn't answer. Then Rachel messaged me. "Tessa said you're not coming? What? What's going on?" Then my mom called. She never calls me just to talk. So I picked up, already bracing myself. "Claire," she said, "I heard you're not going to the wedding. Is this really about the age limit?" I said, "Maya's not invited. I'm not going without her." "She's almost 18, my mom said. "It's not like she's a little kid. She's family." There was a pause. "Don't punish your sister over this. It's one night." I didn't argue. I just said, "We're not going," and hung up. That should have been it. But then came the group chat messages. The guilt. The little comments that weren't even subtle. "Rachel, can't believe you're making such a big deal over one rule. You always have to cause drama." Maya's not the only one not coming. This isn't about her. You're making it about her. My mom sent a long message about family unity and forgiveness. About how we've all made sacrifices. About how it's hard being in the middle. I didn't respond. Maya deleted the dress photos from her phone. He stopped talking about the wedding. She didn't cry. But I think that's what hurt me the most, how unsurprised she was. She'd already learned what I spent too long trying to ignore. So when Christmas came around and no one had apologized or even brought it up, I made a quiet decision. I didn't invite them. No big announcement. No blow up. Just silence. And that's what made them really angry. If you'd asked me 10 years ago what I thought motherhood would look like, I would have said birthday parties, messy hugs, glitter on the carpet. I wouldn't have said, trying to protect a child from people who claim to love you both. When Maya came into my life, she was 3 years old and heartbreakingly serious. Big brown eyes, soft curls, and a quiet stare that made you feel like she was memorizing everything you said just in case she needed to survive you. She didn't warm up quickly. She didn't giggle on cue. She didn't run into my arms like a movie scene. But when she finally reached for my hand in the grocery store without being asked, I cried in the parking lot for 10 minutes. My husband, Ethan, was the one who said, "That was the moment she chose you." And I've been choosing her every day since. But my family never quite knew what to do with her. At first, I chalked it up to awkwardness. Adjusting. Bernie. She didn't have my eyes. She didn't carry my last name yet. She didn't jump into conversations at holidays the way the other kids did. But it was more than that. It was the way my mom referred to her as the little one instead of Maya. The way Tessa once asked, "Are you going to tell her she's adopted when she's older?" When Maya was standing right there. The way Rachel's kids got Easter baskets from our parents with personalized names, while Maya got a generic one with a Happy Spring tag. It wasn't overt. It was quieter than that. Softer. Easier to excuse if you wanted to. But Maya noticed. She always noticed. I tried to be patient. I really did. I explained. I redirected. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. When Maya was 6, she told my dad she wanted to be an artist. He smiled and said, "You'll need something more practical than that." When she was 8, she drew a picture of our family, me, Ethan, and her, and gave it to my mom. My mom smiled, said thank you, then set it down and never mentioned it again. Maya asked later why it wasn't on the fridge like the other cousins' drawings. I didn't know what to say. The first time I really lost my patience was Rachel's engagement party. Maya was 12. Rachel had invited us. Sort of. We were added to a mass text with a time, date, and venue. No, can't wait to see you. No personal message. But we went anyway. Because I thought, this is how we change it. We keep showing up. Maya wore a pale blue dress and these little silver flats she'd picked out herself. She was nervous, kept asking if she looked okay, if she could stay close to me. At the party, Rachel greeted us with a tight smile and a hi. Then turned to hug the next person without asking Maya anything. No compliment. No, you look so grown up. Just air. We stayed for 20 minutes. Maybe 25. Maya stuck to my side the entire time. On the way home she said, "I don't think she likes me." I said, "She doesn't know you." She said, "She's had 10 years. And I didn't have an answer for that. The thing is, I don't think they ever fully accepted that Maya wasn't temporary. It's like some part of them thought I'd eventually have a real child, and this would become a sweet chapter. Something they could refer to as when Claire fostered that little girl. They never said it out loud. They didn't have to. Last year, for Maya's 16th birthday, we rented a space at the community center and decorated it with her artwork. Her idea. She didn't want some big party with loud music. She wanted to hang her paintings, serve cupcakes, and invite the people who'd supported her. She made the invitations herself. Sent them out to family, friends, and a few teachers. Rachel didn't come. Neither did Tessa. My parents showed up 30 minutes late and brought a card that said, "To a sweet girl," with a $20 bill tucked inside. Maya thanked them. She's always polite. Afterward she didn't say much. Just helped clean up, put her canvases back in the car. But later that night when we were home and the dishes were done, I found one of her sketches. It was a drawing of the three of us, her, me, and Ethan, at the party. But our faces were blank. I think that's when I stopped hoping they'd change. Not because of the card, or the late arrival, or the lack of effort, but because it didn't even hurt Maya anymore. Not in the same way. She'd stopped being surprised. And that scared me more than anything. So when the wedding invitation never came, not even a phone call or a conversation, just a silent exclusion, I knew what I had to do. I didn't argue. I didn't plead or ask for an exception. I just told Maya we weren't going. She didn't cry. She just nodded and said, "Okay." Later that night she asked, "Do you think they even noticed we weren't there?" I said, "Yes." because I needed her to believe she mattered. Even if they didn't. We spent the weekend of the wedding at home. Ethan made French toast. Maya painted in the sunroom. I read a book from cover to cover. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't a protest. It was peace. And honestly, it felt strange at first. Quiet in a way that made you realize how much noise you'd been living with for years. I didn't miss the ceremony. I didn't wonder what the flowers looked like or whether the cake tasted good. I thought about Maya. I thought about how she used to look for their approval in every comment, every holiday, every family dinner, and how little by little they taught her not to expect it. And I thought about the next holiday. How for years I'd hosted Christmas out of obligation, inviting them, feeding them, pretending their half-hearted smiles were enough. This time I wouldn't. This time I'd do something different. Ethan asked me in early December, should I order the usual folding chairs? I shook my head. No extra seats this year. He didn't push. Maya didn't ask. And when the group chat started buzzing with, who's bringing dessert to Claire's this year? And should we come the night before like always? I said nothing. I just watched the messages pile up unread. I didn't announce that I wasn't hosting Christmas. I didn't make a speech or post a bold status, or tell everyone to go find somewhere else to eat their ham in passive aggression. I just didn't say anything. And that silence, apparently, was the loudest thing I'd ever done. The group chat started buzzing around December 15th. Rachel. Claire, are we still doing Christmas Eve dinner at your place? Well, let me know what I should bring. Tessa, of course. We'll be 5 again. Let me know if Maya wants anything specific this year. If she's even going to be there this time. That one almost got me. If she's even going to be there this time. Like Maya was the problem. Like her absence from their wedding was a personal failing of hers, not the result of being uninvited. I didn't reply. For the first time in years, I didn't clean the house top to bottom. I didn't pre-order a roast. I didn't dig out the extra folding chairs. I didn't drag the big table leaf out of the garage. And when no one got an answer, they started calling. First it was my mom. I let it ring. Then Rachel. Then Tessa. Then my dad left a voicemail. Claire, we just want to know what's going on. Your mother's upset. It's not too late to do the right thing. The right thing. As if hosting people who excluded my daughter was the right thing. As if feeding them would fix what they refused to acknowledge. We didn't host anyone that year. Instead, Ethan and I made lasagna in pajamas while Maya baked sugar cookies in shapes that barely held together. We stayed in, watched movies, opened our gifts early. We laughed more than we had in months. It felt normal. In a way our holidays never had before. No one walked on eggshells. No one had to translate pointed comments. No one got quiet when Maya entered the room. It was just us. And that's when the messages started to change. December 26th. Tessa in the group chat. I just think it's sad. We've all tried to welcome Maya, but Claire has made it impossible to connect with her. Rachel. I mean, if you cut off family every time there's a disagreement, you'll end up with no one. Dad. The way you're handling this is cruel. I'm sorry, but it is. My mom sent me a photo of the Christmas tree at their house with the caption. It wasn't the same without you. Maya would have loved her gifts. I didn't reply. Because they weren't gifts for Maya. They were guilt-wrapped invitations to come back and pretend everything was fine. And I'd done that for too long. A few days later we got a card in the mail. No return address, but I knew the handwriting. Inside, my mother had written, I wish you'd think about the example you're setting. Maya will see how easily you shut people out. That line stuck with me. Because I realized, that's exactly what I want her to see. Not that love is disposable. But that love, real love, doesn't ask you to shrink yourself. It doesn't ask you to sit quietly while the people around you pretend your pain is too uncomfortable to acknowledge. Maya didn't ask about the messages, but I know she saw the tension. She's never been one to ask directly. He just watches, absorbs. Like she's still trying to figure out which parts of the world are safe. One night, she was curled up on the couch with a blanket over her legs, sketching something. She paused, then said, If I wasn't adopted, do you think they'd like me more? The question hit harder than any of the text. I sat down beside her. Sweetheart, I said, they'd probably pretend better. But the way they treat people who aren't like them? That was never about you. She looked at me with those same serious eyes from the day I met her and said, I don't think I want them to like me anymore. And that was the moment I stopped waiting for an apology. A few days later my father called again. I let it ring. Then he texted. Your mother's not sleeping. She feels like she's lost you. We know we messed up. But that doesn't justify shutting everyone out. That's not who you are. I stared at that line for a long time. That's not who you are. I used to wonder about that. Used to question whether I was being too cold, too sensitive, too harsh. But now, I think this is who I am. Someone who finally knows what she will and won't tolerate. Someone who knows that keeping peace at the expense of your child's dignity isn't noble. It's cowardice dressed up as tradition. The final straw came from Tessa. She sent a voice memo. One of those rambling ones where people try to sound calm but every sentence has a knife tucked inside. I just think it's sad, Claire. You always made such a big deal about how much you love Maya, but now it feels like you're using her as a shield. Like any time someone doesn't treat her like royalty, you cut them out. That's not healthy. That's not parenting. That's obsession. I didn't listen to the rest. I deleted the message and blocked her number. Because if loving Maya fiercely, completely, is seen as obsession in their world, then yes. I'm obsessed. I'm wildly, unapologetically obsessed with protecting the person who needed me the most. And nothing they say will make me regret that. New Year's came and went quietly. Maya fell asleep before midnight with a half-eaten cookie on the couch. Ethan and I toasted with tea instead of champagne and watched fireworks on mute. He looked at me and said, "Do you miss them?" I thought about it. "No," I said. "I miss the idea of them. But that version never really existed." He nodded. Didn't say anything more. Just reached for my hand. I don't know what will happen next. I'm sure they'll keep trying. People like that don't go quietly. There will be more texts. More posts. Maybe one of them will show up at Maya's graduation next year, acting like nothing happened. But I've made my decision. There's no big showdown coming. No dramatic confrontación. Just quiet distance. And sometimes that's the most powerful choice of all. It happened on a Thursday. Cold, overcast, quiet. I had just come home from work, still in my coat when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. Ethan was working late. Maya was upstairs preparing a portfolio project for her college applications. I opened the door and there they were, my parents, standing on my porch like it was still 2007 and we were pretending nothing ever went wrong. My mom had a Tupperware container in her hands. I think they were oatmeal cookies. Her specialty. Soft in the middle, slightly burnt around the edges. The kind she used to make when I was little. "Claire," she said with a breathy little smile. "We thought we'd stop by." I didn't say anything at first. Just stared at the container in her hands like it might be booby-trapped. My dad shifted beside her. "Can we come in? Just for a minute?" "No," I said. There was a pause, surprise maybe, but not long enough to matter. My mom tried to recover with another warm tone. "We just wanted to talk. Things got heated. But we're still your family." She offered the cookies like a peace treaty. I didn't take them. That's when the smile started to falter. "You don't have to be like this," she said, her voice tightening. "We know it's been hard. Raising a teenager. Pushing everyone else away." My dad added, "We tried to be patient. We gave you space. But this? You're going to lose your real family over a girl who's going to leave in a few months." My stomach clenched. "She's 17, my mom said softly. "She'll go off to college soon and then what? You'll be alone. You'll regret this." I could hear the words underneath the words. This wasn't about reconciling. This was about control. And then my mother said it, the thing I think she'd always believed deep down. "I'm sorry, Claire. But she's not blood. She's not really one of us." She said it gently, like she was doing me a favor. Like she expected me to nod and say, "You're right, I lost my way." Instead, I took a deep breath, stepped back and said, "You need to leave. Right now." My dad looked taken aback. "Claire." "No," I said louder. "You don't get to come here with cookies and pity and act like this is kindness. You don't get to insult my daughter to my face and then wonder why I'm not inviting you in. You're going to regret this," my mom said again, her voice cracking now. "When she leaves you, when she forgets about you, you'll see. Our door will still be open. You'll come back. You'll realize we were right." I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. I closed the door, locked it, and leaned against it until I couldn't hear their footsteps anymore. I told Maya the next day. I wasn't going to. I didn't want her to carry their poison. But I've never lied to her. Not about anything important. She sat very still while I told her what they said. About her leaving. About not being blood. About me crawling back one day. She didn't cry. But I could see it in her hands, how tightly she clenched them in her lap. How her shoulders stiffened. They really think I'll leave you, she said. No, I said. They hope you will. That way I'll need them again. She nodded slowly. They don't get to hope things about me, she said. I thought that would be the end of it. I should have known better. Because a week later, my cousin Sarah forwarded me an email that Rachel had sent to the extended family. It was long. Rambling. Passive-aggressive in the way only Rachel could be. But the point was clear. She told them I had abandoned the family for a girl who manipulated her way into Claire's life and isolated her from everyone else. She implied Maya had been difficult, distant, and ungrateful. That my relationship with her was unhealthy. That I was obsessed with protecting her from imaginary slights. It was vile. And worse, it worked. People started reaching out. Aunt Linda texted me asking if I was okay. Uncle John called Ethan asking if I was having a breakdown. My second cousin Chloe left a comment on one of Maya's art posts. You're very lucky. Don't forget who gave you a home. Maya saw it. I saw her see it. And that was the last straw. I didn't write a response. I wrote a dossier. Screenshots. Messages. Photos. Every ignored invitation. Every exclusion. Every receipt. I wrote a letter. Not emotional. Not angry. Just facts. I sent it to the extended family only once. With the subject line. For those who wanted the full story. I didn't ask for sides. I didn't demand apologies. I just gave them the truth. Some replied. Some didn't. A few quietly unfriended Rachel. A few didn't believe a word I said. It didn't matter. Because I wasn't doing it for them. I was doing it for Maya. So she'd never question whether she imagined it. So she'd never ask again, do you think they'd like me if I was blood? After that, I blocked everyone who tried to argue. Everyone who said, but maybe if you just talked it out. Everyone who thought keeping peace was more important than protecting a child from emotional abuse disguised as family tradition. We never heard from them again. Not directly. I'm sure they still talk about us. I'm sure I'm the story they tell at parties when someone brings up estranged children. I'm sure Maya's name is still spoken in tight, judgmental tones. Let them talk. They lost their right to know her. Fast forward. Maya's in college now. Art program. Top of her class. She still calls me every night. Not out of obligation. Just habit. She sends pictures of her sketches. Sometimes she asks for my opinion. Sometimes she just wants to say goodnight. When I dropped her off at her dorm, she hugged me for a full minute. And whispered, I'm not going anywhere. She meant physically maybe. But I knew what she really meant. People say you can't choose your family. I did. I chose her. Over blood. Over guilt. Over years of learned silence. And if they still think I'll come crawling back one day, let them wait. Sometimes I still think about that moment on the porch. My mother handing me those cookies like they could undo years of silence. Like sugar could fix what they never had the courage to say out loud. And sometimes late at night I wonder if I overreacted. If I should have tried harder. Stayed quieter. Been more forgiving. But then I remember the look on Maya's face when I told her, they don't get to treat you like that. I remember how tightly she hugged me when she left for college. I remember that I promised her something no one ever promised me growing up. That I'd choose her every time. Do you think I did the right thing? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe.
Asterisk after listening to today's story, perhaps it has raised some new questions in your mind, or maybe it has brought back some old memories. Every day on Reddit, new experiences and moments create fresh stories, and they connect all of us. Everyone has their own unique journey in life, and we all try to understand the world in our own way. These kinds of moments remind us that we are all human, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, and always learning something new. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to share it with your friends. Your thoughts and feedback are always valuable to us, as they motivate us to create even better content. Every story has its own unique angle, and our goal is to understand everyone's perspective and make our content diverse and relatable. Stories like these help us realize that life's journey is different for everyone, and by hearing other stories, we learn something new. You can also share your own stories with us. Your experiences are valuable to us as well, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave your feedback. We aim to create content that brightens your mind and gives you new ideas every time. If you've already seen this video before, your feedback is still important. With every piece of feedback, we can improve our content and bring a new perspective to our viewers. Today, what we saw was just a small part of the many stories shared on Reddit and across the world. It's a reminder of how we all try to understand life by sharing our experiences with each other. This video was only an example of how we try to connect with others through storytelling, learning about different sides of life. We hope to continue sharing such stories that help us all learn and grow together. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to keep an eye out for more stories coming soon. If you haven't already, please like and follow for more amazing content. Your support keeps us going, and we will strive to bring you more thought-provoking and heartwarming stories. Until next time, take care and stay curious. **